Hello, you are listening to the Natural Healing Show for UK Health Radio. I'm your host, Catherine Carrigan, medical intuitive healer and Amazon #1 bestselling author. You can find out more about me and my work at catherinecarrigan.com and unlimitedenergynow.com. While you're there, definitely sign up for my newsletter so you can learn even more about how you can heal yourself naturally. Now, our guest today is Alma Barrero. Alma Barrero is the author of Style Power, a new book, and you can find out more about Alma Barrero and her wonderful work at her website, almabarrero.com. Welcome, Alma Barrero.
Hello, I'm so happy to be here. Thank you so much for having me.
So Alma Barrero, as you know, so many women feel disconnected from their bodies and hate the way they look. This dislike or hatred of their body is the root of many physical and emotional ailments, including eating disorders, lifelong dieting, constant dieting, over-exercising, and low self-esteem. In your work, as a style coach, you help people understand how to transform the way they dress. How can changing the way that we dress on the outside improve our relationship with our body?
I love this question. And this is the one reason why I believe I do what I do. And specifically why I created this book, because I believe that this is all about internal work and then projecting that on the outside. So that's how I help others to understand that we can use clothes as a tribute to ourselves and as a daily reminder of how much we value ourselves, but also how divine and how special we are, because there is no one like us, right? So the reason why I put so much emphasis on the inner work first, it's precisely for that reason, because once we work from a place of embracing who we are and truly loving us and our uniqueness, we don't have to like every day what we see, but if we accept it and we love it, then that's projected on the outside, and most importantly, we see it in the like every day when we look in the mirror.
Great answer. So Alma Barrero, part of what you do is empower people to understand what is their personal style. In your professional opinion, what is personal style?
To me, personal style goes tied to first the unique energetic imprint that we all have, and also what we also call personality. So it's a mix of those two kind of 3D, 5D worlds that blend together in a very special way and comes out in a way that you could call it channeling or creativity or so many ways. And when we allow that unique information to come through, that's when we create our own personal style.
Okay, now how can discovering our personal style boost our self-esteem?
That's everything. It's like when you look into business and people are like, oh, but I've got so much competence, this is a really crowded market. And when you operate from a place of what it is that I bring into the world, what it is that I myself can look for that brings me joy, that fills my heart, without thinking about what everybody else is wearing, what others are expecting you to wear, what you were told since you were little that you were supposed to be wearing, because otherwise you wouldn't look good. But instead, looking inside and seeing what actually makes you feel excited to wear.
Okay. Now, Alma Barrero, so many women, as you know, suffer from low self-esteem when it comes to their body. And we all know that when we look to the fashion magazines, the magazines that are supposed to tell us what's in style and what to wear now, we know that those photographs have been photoshopped, and the women in them have had, all kinds of alterations to their appearance. How can we improve our body confidence without dieting or exercising?
Awesome. First of all, buy my book. I mean, I can't even tell you how empowering can be operating from the place that I'm going to tell you. I believe we all look the way we look for a reason in this lifetime. And when we operate from that space, instead of becoming a victim of our physique, we embrace our different attributes. And then that's when you start eating in a different way, you start dressing in a different way, you start behaving, talking in a different way, because you understand that this is all about harmonizing with who you truly are, and understanding that this is not a punishment, but this is just something that was sent to you, and it's an opportunity to love yourself even more, instead of just saying, yeah, I just don't like what I see. Because when we don't garden our self-love plant, then how is it going to grow? There is just no way, right? So that's how I see it.
So one of the things that I talk to clients about in my work as a medical intuitive healer is that you are a unique energy. There's nobody else just like you. So just like you, if you look at your fingerprints, they're unique to you. And so you are a unique vibration. And so if someone comes to you in whatever it is that you do, it's because you need your unique energy. And so your work has to do with style and dressing. What do you think women can do to express their inner beauty on the outside? How can we go about doing that?
Right. So first of all, it's all we've been talking about, the inner work. Then my second biggest advice is to believe that the vision that you have of the ideal version of yourself, you have it for a reason. It's already within you. So when we believe that actually exists, and we consciously move towards that ideal vision of what is you dressing at your best, like at your most like at your brightest and most fantastic or most creative, or it depends on what it truly means for you to dress as your ideal self. Once you have that idea, it is also about understanding that there is a reason why you're not there in the 3D wall yet. There is something blocking that. And when we become aware of that, it is probably an identity that we are holding when we step inside our wardrobe and we start thinking, oh my God, I hate my clothes. Oh my God, I can't wear that. Oh, I feel like wearing that. But then when you look in the mirror, it looks completely disconnected to what you had in your mind. So there are many factors that can influence that. And spotting that, my book helps you with that too. Spotting what's keeping you from that vision, it's really important, because then you're going to move much faster towards creating a wardrobe that's truly reflecting who you are. And then once you have identified that, understanding what colors highlight your best attributes that harmonize with your unique energy imprint that we were talking about. Also, understanding what styles flatter better your personality, and embracing that instead of looking the other way. And also understanding that style, it's in the end, just a visual game. So playing with lighter colors, with volume, to highlight areas of your body that you feel comfortable highlighting, that will automatically help you disguise areas that you might not want to bring attention to. So that's in a nutshell how the whole cycle goes.
So Alma Barrero, why do you think it's a bad idea for women to follow fashion trends?
I say fashion trends are an amazing source of inspiration, but I would never, ever, ever recommend following them just for the sake of following them. Because when we forget about the real inner compass, then that's when we find the disconnection with our wardrobe. I love creativity in all its ways, and that's why I admire so many fashion brands and the designers allowing the information to flow through them. And that it's their input on what getting dressed is like. So here is us reclaiming our power and understanding that we have a choice. And just because somebody else says that that's trendy, that doesn't mean it needs to be in your wardrobe. It's about checking in and understanding what works for you.
How, in your work, part of what you do is help women understand what colors both best accentuate their inner beauty. How can we tell the best colors for us?
So I don't want to say go and buy my book again. I do have an exercise inside my book that's part in the bonus part, and it helps you to at least discard 50% of all the colors in the color spectrum, and at least identify if you feel that your energy expands more when you're closer to colors that are more yellow based, warmer, or with colors that are more blue based or like cooler. That's a very basic way to look into it. So I approach color in a very color analysis, but I call it color magic, in a very different way than the mainstream. I don't look into it as in, I want my client to be draped and just put all these different colors and just tell them, oh, that's what you look like. That's where you need to be, in that little box. I don't look to color into that in that way. I help you understand how you need to feel when you're wearing those colors. You feel seen, you feel relaxed, you feel like your features actually look like, help you look even like younger or even your age, but just not tired and worn out. But most importantly, your energy levels. When you're able to start telling the difference on how energetically you feel around certain colors, then it becomes like a drug. And I've never taken drugs, but it's addictive, because you understand what feeling light and what feeling enlightened around certain colors actually feels like, and then you just want to wear that. So that's what I say, it's the number one sign that we need to follow when it comes to color.
So how we feel when we're wearing that color.
The most important thing, I always say, it is not what you wear, but how you feel when you're wearing it. So color is, I would say, the number one factor into that equation.
Now, if we're alive, we're aging. And how do you think our style should change as we age?
I always say I never look at age when it comes to dressing. And you and I have a friend in common who you know, like depending on society's rules, she should be dressing in a certain way. I've got many clients in all ages, and I never, not even once, have asked for the age, because I do believe that's just a limitation. And age is just a number. My mom is 80, and poor thing, like she's reaching the end of her life. And I know so many people in their 80s who are just starting to feel themselves and are just living the best time in their lives. So I would never, ever classify anybody by their age. And if you feel that your age is a limitation, then let's look into it. Let's see what another story can we create around that. Is it that you feel that because, I don't know, your breasts are not looking the same way as they looked 30 years ago, then you need to dress in a certain way. So let's just point it into experience. And I talk to my mothers, I'm like, you went through an experience, so let's dress you from that new, more mature you, but not from an age point of view.
Okay. It's funny because I'll be 63 next month. And probably about 10 years ago, a friend of mine from London, and everything's real. This is my hair color. I don't dye my hair. Everything's real. And but on the question of age, about 10 years ago, a friend of mine from London came over because I'm the same size that I was when I was 28. And we went through my closet because I had clothes from younger years, like I had hot pants and I could still wear my hot pants, but we just had a big laugh. It's like, if I wore hot pants now, it would be like, what? So I look at some of the things that younger women wear and I'm like, I don't think I want to wear that right now.
Absolutely. And then you see those bootcut pants that were so in trend 20 years ago, and now they are back, right? So I don't look at it from an age point of view, but it's just that I have nothing to do with the Alma from 20 years ago. But it's not a matter of age. I don't want to be that Alma now. I want to be this one. So how can I honor this Alma right now? But not from an age point of view, but from an energetic point of view. My energy has expanded like in amazing ways compared to that Alma. So how can I make the most of what I have right now without comparing myself to any other ages or people or anything really?
Great answer. And now we're going to take a break from one of our sponsors. So just hang on, we'll be right back. So Alma Barrero, the author of the new book, Style Power, how did you end up finding the connection between spirituality and style?
This is the story of my life. And I only just realized really about the connection of it all when I was writing my book and understanding that I was receiving not just from the universe since I was a little one. I've always been obsessed with helping others understand their greatness inside and how that could be projected on the outside. But I never really understood it until I was fully aware of how I was blocking all the channeling messages that I was receiving. So I've been an image consultant for 11 years now, but before that, I was a financial auditor, and I actually joke about it in my book because nowadays I talk to my financial auditor colleagues, my past colleagues, and they were like, I cannot believe that crazy idea that you kept repeating. You kept saying, I want to become an image consultant, and I exactly know what I want to, I exactly know what I want. That career didn't exist in Spain. So when I moved to Canada, I started getting in touch with holistic image consulting, and I started seeing that that vision that I had since I was very little, it was actually maybe possible that inner work could actually be connected with the outside world. And it was when I was writing this book that I understood that all these years of developing my what I believe were my gifts and what I started seen as self-development and then spirituality development, and all my years of image consulting could actually be brought together because my clients were were shifting in such a powerful way that people could not explain what was happening, because it wasn't about the wardrobe, but about the energetic effect that they were having in people's in their lives, whereas in their businesses, in their family, themselves, like how they were able to create from a very different space. So once I surrendered to the fact that I already knew what was going on, and I sat down and I wrote this book, and I was like, that's it. I'm finally letting the world know my big secret, like quotation marks. What I truly believe is the real personal style work, the real transformation from the inside out, in my perspective of the world.
Wonderful story. Now, I have to share a story from my work as a medical intuitive healer, because often people will come to me, maybe they're stuck in their weight loss program, or they're stuck in some aspect of their health. And so many of the times, if you went to the average consultant, they would go, okay, I want you to go on this diet, or take up this exercise program. But I remember working with this lady, and she didn't weigh what she wanted to weigh. And I remember saying to her, I said, okay, I'm going to give you an assignment. I want you to go to a store, pick a store that you like, and find a good sales consultant. And I want you to pick out 4 outfits. I said, not just like, oh, I like this shirt, or I like this pair of pants. That's not an outfit, because we buy it. It's like, oh, this is this cute shirt. I bring it home. I don't know what to wear with it. Anyway, I said to this lady, I want you to get outfit, top, bottom, the scarves, the jewelry, the whole thing, so that you're put together, so that, you know, I'm wearing this whole outfit. Any rate, long story short, she bought the 4 outfits. I think it cost her maybe about $800 in US dollars. And then she lost over 20 pounds. And so many women, I think, we think, well, I've got to change the inside. And then once I've been good, meaning you starved or overexercised, then I'm going to reward myself. But what I observe is very much in line with your work, Alma Barrero, is that when we change how we look on the inside, we start to see ourselves differently, and we take care of ourselves better. So this lady started bicycling, and she had a better relationship with her husband. So how do you think changing the way that we look on the outside, you know, starting where we are now, without thinking I've got to go on a diet or exercise program, how can changing on the outside change our relationship with our bodies and with ourselves?
So here is the thing. I believe it goes the other way around, just how you were talking about, like the domino effect, right? So I always bring up my own experience on when I had like that light bulb moment, and I realized that it was all about acceptance and understanding that we look the way we look for a reason. And it was when I had my first baby. I believed what everybody was saying in the news, not what my mom told me. And it was that it was going to take me a while to feel that my body was a kind of what it was before. So I without, I completely unconsciously, I got into what I call this yoga pant rut. And I couldn't get out of it. And I swear all my life that I would never be one of those moms that would get into that, because I would never understand that before becoming a mom. And it was after several weeks, months, that one day I was standing in front of my mirror, and I was like, oh my God, I've been telling my clients this one message for years, and I wasn't applying it to myself. This is all about making the most of what we have and loving ourselves unconditionally, just like I was loving my baby. Why wasn't I allowing myself to go through this magical transition? No matter that is because you've had a baby, because you've gone through an illness, you've gone through major life changes. This is all about honoring ourselves and understanding the power of it, the divine gift of seeing ourselves in every single step of the way. So that's, to me, where everything changes, because when we dress from that space, that's when everything shifts. That's the magic of it. So then, of course, when we are dressing from that space, we get into this magical, almost like a hero's journey cycle. You start changing on the inside because you are reminding yourself every single day how precious you are and how much you matter. And there is a reason you are here. So then your clothes are also helping you self-love yourself. So one thing, like one side cannot go without the other one. There is absolutely no way. And every single decision you're going to make, dressing yourself, whereas wearing those yoga pants out of convenience, or wearing those yoga pants out of, I'm going to treat myself today, wearing these really comfortable yoga pants that I chose on the color that make me excited, with a fabric that I enjoy wearing, and I feel that is really honoring myself. And I'm going to treat myself to these yoga pants today. So it's just this, it's the same piece, but worried from a very different space and from a very energetic point of view, very different energetic point of view. Does that make sense?
Wonderful story. Now, one of my 10 books is called Unlimited Energy Now. And in my book, Unlimited Energy Now, I have a whole chapter about clothes. And I start the chapter with a quote from a friend of mine who's a New York fashion designer. And she said, I'll never forget, she said, when you're depressed, get dressed. When you're depressed, get dressed. So how do you think, Alma Barrero, that enjoying dressing up every single day boosts our energy?
Oh, I don't think anybody can argue this one. I really don't know anybody in this world that can argue that one. There is, I forgot the name. It's called behavioral. There is a name for this. There is actually backed up by science. It's called behavioral something. I'm sorry, I can't come up with the whole term. And it's the truth. Like the days when we feel truly down, even depressed, and I can totally talk in first person when I'm talking about depression because I've gone through it. It takes maybe every single cell in your body to get up and actually put on clothes that you like, and even put on some makeup if you're a woman or a man, it doesn't matter, and even put on a ponytail. It takes maybe all the effort in the world. I've gone through chronic fatigue. I know what that is. There is something about that self-nurturing act that gives our body a break, and our mind soothes, because we are taking that time for ourselves. So I'm a huge believer in that. I don't believe that we need to dress up every day. I really don't believe it. I also believe it's crucial for those who value beauty and who value the looks of everything that they are surrounded by, and their body is it's like the very minimum of that beauty, of honoring that value of yours.
So great answers. And now we're going to take another break and listen to a message from one of our sponsors. So Alma Barrero here on the Natural Healing Show for UK Health Radio. One of our valued guests, like yourself, was a lady who has a second career selling clothes on Poshmark. And I know that when I was younger, one of the things that held me back from developing a great wardrobe was worrying that I would have to spend a lot of money to have a great wardrobe. Now, there's several aspects of this. Number one, money is one of the biggest sources of stress. As we all know, there's health, relationships, and money. So we don't want to go broke trying to look good. And then on the flip side of it, one of the things that I talked about to this Poshmark seller is that we now understand that the fashion industry is one of the top polluters in the world, contributing to global warming and water pollution. And then on top of that, so when we're buying all this fast fashion, we're contributing to, the pollution in the world. A lot of the clothes that get donated, for example, to Goodwill get trashed and not recycled. And then on top of that, we're worried about our budgets, and yet many of the people who make clothes in the Far East, they're not even paid a living wage. So there's ethical considerations when we buy fashion. There's our own budgetary considerations. And then we're also beginning to become more aware about how our individual choices affect the health of the planet. So here's the bottom line question. In this day and age, there are many websites like Poshmark where people can buy recycled clothes. And I'm a big fan of that for all the reasons we mentioned, to save my budget, to save the planet. How can we have a great wardrobe on a budget? This is a consideration for so many of us.
I love this question. Thank you so much for asking. That is a big, huge factor. And people don't believe what I say, but this is what I say. I believe buy 1/3 of what you buy with the next level of quality. Okay. And when I say that, some people are like, oh, but that's more expensive. Well, we're going to start adding up how much the $10 t-shirts or $5 t-shirts that you have in your wardrobe add up. And we're going to see how long they last. Because those most likely won't make you feel as excited as some ethically grown, organic, cotton, white t-shirt that will cost you probably $20. Okay. Here is the thing. This is really not about the money. This is about the energy. The closest the fabric is to the natural state, the less modification there is, the less manufacturing there is, and the higher the vibration of the fabric. What does it mean? That fabric, that cloth stays in your wardrobe much longer. I've got pieces in my wardrobe that sometimes I'm even like, oh my God, it's been in my wardrobe for 20 years. And I'm not even exaggerating here. Because when you think about the quality, and it doesn't always go tied with price at all. It's about looking at the tag, looking at what is the composition of that piece of clothing. Okay. It doesn't have to be a high-end brand. It can be a middle brand, but with a good quality piece of clothing. That's it. So I say I'm a big fan of organizing a wardrobe that can give you options to dress up and dress down. It can also last for a long time. So investing in basics And investing means what I just said. Instead of buying three $10 t-shirt, buy one, but in a really good quality and in a plain color like white. So you can mix and match with so many different pieces of clothing in your closet. So I like people, I've worked with a lot of business coaches and they'll be like, oh my God, if you're a style coach, just like show up every day on social media and just show a different outfit. And I'm like, that's not possible because that's not my life. And that's not what I stay behind. I believe in real life and I believe in energy and I believe in dressing from what my heart is telling me. And if I want to wear the same sweater 3 days in a row, I'm going to wear it without shame because that's what my body is asking for. And that's my priority. And I don't believe in buying clothing lavishly without thinking of what truly makes me happy. And having a closet full of clothes that I don't wear truly doesn't make me happy. Having that energy stuck in there truly doesn't feel my heart. So this is my 2 cents in this topic.
A great response. This sweater that I'm wearing, I think it's at least 10 years old, but I love the color and it's good quality and it's lasted. Which brings me to our next question, because so many of us have closets full of clothes. And I know I've worked on Zoom with clients in London and gone through their closet. And so for many of us, we look at our closets, we feel confused. We don't know what to throw out, what to keep. What are your suggestions about how we can get rid of old clothes in our closet that really don't work for us anymore?
I have a really good exercise in the book around this, and it's also based on your identity because like we first look at the connection that you have with your current wardrobe, like how connected you feel to it, because this is really key with you feeling uplifted every single morning when you step into your wardrobe. How does it make you feel? How excited does it make you feel? Then the next question is, okay, what is it? Is it because you created a wardrobe like full of pieces that were just convenient or were cheap, or because you said yes to all your siblings who were getting rid of clothes and you were like, oh my God, what a waste, I'm just going to put it in. Oh my God, what a sale, I'm just going to bring it because it's so cheap. How am I going to say no? So what I say is the first question that we want to ask ourselves is, what are the pieces that truly make me feel myself, that truly make me feel uplifted, that I'm looking forward to wear? Because there is no way you're going to create a cake that makes you feel amazing, that you love, if the ingredients in it are all disgusting to you, or even like you don't feel excited about adding into your cake. So this is basically the same with your wardrobe. And then we go to the most practical aspects of it. Color, that's why it's so life-saving and money-saving and energy-saving, knowing identifying what colors are more aligned with your energy and your natural features. Because when you start honoring that, and you start having a closet that is aligned with that color palette that truly reflects your unique energetic imprint, it's going to be so much easier to get rid of the pieces that just make you feel blah. And then I also say, if you haven't worn a piece for the last 2 years, unless it's something that you feel truly attached and makes you so excited to have in your wardrobe, it is time to say goodbye. Because by you hoarding and getting that piece in your closet, I look at it this way: you are basically taking this piece from somebody that might be super enlightened by it. And here it comes, the second-hand stores, the thrift store, shop, like all the stores that we were talking about second-hand clothes. So it's not about, you're not wasting it because you're throwing it away. You are just letting it keep the flow of how this closet is supposed to evolve. So just don't think about it in a way that you're just wasting money or wasting energy. You're just allowing this piece to find its owner, because if you're not connected to it, you're just not it.
Yes.
And that's amazing, because that allows a space to bring more of what truly honors you.
And you mentioned in your advice on buying that 1/3 of what we buy should be investment pieces. I'll say for myself, when I go through my closet and I realize, oh, I'm not wearing that, or it doesn't look as good as it used to, or what have you, I find there's people that I donate to. And I don't usually give to the Goodwill, because I know that so much of the clothes there ends up being trashed. So how do you recommend that we go about recycling our clothes? Do you believe in giving to the thrift stores, or what's your way of doing it?
So I haven't given my clothes here in the US yet, because I only moved here 2 months ago. But in Australia, I would always give them to the thrift store. And you would always, I would always see my clothes after like a month. So that gives you a good sense that they are actually putting your clothes for sale. But then there are brands that have their own recycling containers in their stores, and they actually give you, I don't know if they do this in the US, but they actually give you a percentage discount for you to buy new clothes in their stores. So those are the two options that I do. And then sometimes my family are like, oh my God, I really love this piece. Can I have it? So that's the main thing. And the biggest turnaround of clothes in this house are obviously my kids, because they grow out of them. And those are the clothes that we give to our family back in Spain as well. So those are the main sources that we do. But I'm really conscious about throwing clothes because of that fact. When I found out about the statistics, I was like, I can't believe this. We can't keep feeding these nonsense. We just can't. So that's why I believe it's a really important factor to keep in mind when you really bring to your closet, and honor it, and understanding that it's not honoring your closet, but it's honoring you and the whole world.
Great answer. Alma Barrero, what's the one item that you feel can help someone to tap into the magic of style power?
I always ask my clients to close their eyes and teleport themselves to a time that they were super excited. I really like to go back to when they were little, because those were times when we weren't judgmental with our physique. But some people, unfortunately, did have concern, did have problems because of maybe a toxic environment in their home. So that's why I say, okay, so just go back to a time where you can think that you were in full bliss, okay? And then think about what color you were wearing at that time, or at least energetically, what color is it's coming to your head. Don't overthink it. Just go with the first thing that comes to you. Maybe it's a piece of clothing that comes to you that you were wearing at that time, doing what made you super happy, or in a very lighthearted environment. What were you wearing? Okay, so that's a really good sign of what is something that is going to help you associate that energetic expansion when you're wearing it. It might be a red lipstick. That's for me. I love wearing red lipstick, and I instantly feel myself, and I feel my connected to my highest self, because I feel the power in it. So it can be so many things. Maybe it's a pair of earrings, maybe it's a watch. It can be so many things. So think about it. Take 2 minutes, if you will, thinking about what anchors that feeling of expansion within yourself, and then go for it and use it and start getting comfortable with using it on a daily basis, and understanding that you don't have to keep it for special occasions, but because we don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. So that's my 2 cents in here. I once heard a very, very popular stylist in the UK answer this question, and she was like, just wear high heels. High heels make everything better. And I was like, okay, that's definitely not my style.
Not always comfortable, right?
No.
Not always comfortable. So Alma Barrero, author of Style Power, any final thoughts for our audience?
I just want to say thank you so much for having me here. It is truly an honor for me to share what I believe it's what I'm meant to be doing in this lifetime. And the last thing that I would be super happy for everyone to really keep from this interview is the fact that you look the way you look for a reason in this lifetime, and you are truly gifting us with your light when you operate from that space and you understand that you are truly loved. And when you are dressed honoring yourself, you are truly helping us all.
Very powerful message. You've been listening to Alma Barrero, the author of Style Power. You can find out more about Alma Barrero and her wonderful work at almabarrero.com. This is Catherine Carrigan, medical intuitive healer, Amazon #1 bestselling author. You can find out more about me and my work at catherinecarrigan.com and unlimitedenergynow.com. While you're there, definitely sign up for my newsletter so you can learn even more about how you can heal yourself naturally. And remember, when you take the time to express on the outside who you really are on the inside, you heal yourself naturally. Thanks so much for listening, and we'll see you next time.